All right. Welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. Four reviews up this week. The first of which is Dead in Antares. Dead in Antares is a turn-based survival management game with RPG elements. Set on an alien planet, lead a crew of survivors sent on a mission to save humanity, manage their needs, strengthen their teamwork, and explore this mysterious world to find a way back home. Right, so this game comes to us from developer Ishtar Games, which has done a whole series of Dead in titles. Um, Other such highlights is Dead in Finland and Dead in Bermuda. Um, so clearly, this time they felt space was the place. Um, or I guess, technically speaking, another world, but it's still sci-fi all the same.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, yeah. So calling this a turn-based survival game with RPG elements is very accurate. Um, because survival definitely is the name of the game. Um, like if you've played a survival game before, you'll know the routine. Um, Manage resources, do tasks, um, keep an eye on various meters. This game has a lot of meters. It has a lot of things to keep track of. Though, um, thankfully, it doesn't introduce all of them all at once. Like, it is a gradual drip feed. Um, because, yeah, otherwise, this would have been overwhelming. Because this is one of those survival games where, no, seriously, not just your typical things like your hunger, your thirst is being kept track of. Things like injuries are being kept, um, which I believe affects your total amount of hit points for when you get into battle. Um, there's sickness, there's stress. That's when you really have to manage because, like, every action, or every like just about anything and everything you're going to do is going to set off stress. Um, like more than any other attribute in this game, that was the one I had to keep the closest eye on. Um, and yeah, this is another one of those survival games where systems tie into systems that tie into systems. Um, and not just like the interplay of the individual meters I described, like, the actions you do, both in the ship and outside the ship, will affect things. Um, on that note, your typical day is split into about three parts. Um, you will get, well, the first two halves of a day or thirds of a day, the work period as it's designated. You have the internal ship stuff and the external exploration portion. The internal is doing things like making sure the power's charged, making sure the water's cleansed, um, using the radar to find things, um, operating the workshop to build new stations, and also do maintenance on stations because they wear down out after usage and just time. Like I said, everything here is measured. Um, and the external exploration is, well, just that. You use the radar to find sites. You head out to them. Like sometimes you might have to do battle. That's where the RPG portion really hits, because it basically plays out like a turn-based JRPG. Not gonna lie, I found the RPG battles here to be the weakest part of the game, and honestly, probably would have been better if they had been excised because they are long and sloggy. They're not they're not very fun to go through. And as far as like the actual mechanics themselves, well, it's more involved than some games of this type. That actually surprised me that it had rows, actual rows, and they work exactly like Final Fantasy rows do. You know, front row you take more damage.
Back row deals less damage, but takes less damage.
Exactly.
Except for with magic or ranged attacks.
Like exactly that. Except I there's no magic, obviously, but like energy attacks, I don't think do more like there's no damage cancellation there. I honestly don't know the finer points of that particular area. But like I said, you've got your your basic attacks, and then you've got your build up attack that you can do. Like I said, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it did stun me to see that this was more involved than a lot of RPG and RPG adjacent indie titles. I just didn't really enjoy the battles at all. Much preferring the survival maintenance stuff. I could get to it. Because I'll be honest, I did not play this game for as long as I wanted to. Let us just say that circumstances this week have been rough, due to certain events that have been going on in the family, and thus I didn't really have time to delve into this for like 16 hours. I think I got about 3. Like, but that seemed to be enough. And I could spend, just a absurd amount of time going through every little detail. Like, there is a lot to this game. Like, I haven't even touched upon relationships, and the narrative, which are both things in this game. Actually kind of reminded me of what Generation Exile was doing. About the same thing. Like, very different games in terms of everything else, but in terms of like narrative, interplay between characters, surprisingly similar. Like, not sure what that means exactly, but it is interesting to see independent evolution of things that comes across your path. And, it all works well. But how do I put this? Like, I guess to turn a phrase, this is the kind of game that would probably turn someone like Galax here into a basket case. Like,
why is that?
Choice paralysis, pressures.
Yeah, that's kind of a pain.
Like, it doesn't have time pressures, thankfully. Like, at least not on the level I played. Maybe that's something they added in like the insane difficulty. but I would struggle to see the point because this is all turn based. It's not real time. But my point is like if you're somebody who stresses over making choices, especially if there's a cost to everything, yeah, this game is gonna make you very stressed very quickly. So if you're the person kind of person who hates to deal with that, I'll say right now, avoid this game like the plague. Otherwise, very good game. I actually like it more than Generation Exile. Probably because it's a lot more focused. And the narrative side works well with everything else, much more than a city builder does. Like I'll be honest, a city builder doesn't really mesh well with a personal interwoven narrative between individual characters. Like there's a reason why like Civilization hasn't pulled that card, or Sim City really.
I mean, they
So
kind of did with Age of Mythology and didn't go too well.
Age of Mythology is a real time strategy
Yeah,
game.
right. Brain.
That is a different thing.
Yeah.
Than what I'm talking about here. So anyway, graphically this looks pretty good. Like very nice art. Thankfully, none of it, as far as I can tell, generated by AI. Though the music is really the standout here. It's a really shockingly moody electronic mix. It is actually a soundtrack I would buy independent if it were available. Like
Have you
the
looked
soundtrack
on
is.
Bandcamp or any of the other external sources?
I'm talking about on Steam. Like
Mm.
I'm specifically talking on Steam because it's got the original soundtrack listed here, but it's not available yet.
Ah, it's one of those.
Yeah. I'm like, it's probably on like YouTube. I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to buy it, right there on Steam, you can't right now. I'm not sure what the holdup is, and considering how publishers going, it may never show up. We're actually going to get into this week. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, in terms of pricing, so the game clocks in at $20. Once again, like I think that's a high price. I think I'd be much more comfortable with this game at 15. Also, there is a supporter pack for $7.99 individually, though you can get it in a bundle for 25. It's a cosmetic pack. Yeah, like okay, that's what's going on with the original soundtrack. Apparently, you got to buy the supporters pack to get it. Okay, that wasn't clear at all on the soundtrack page. I was wondering what was going on there. Okay, but like it's got like the soundtrack, it's got an exclusive skin and an exclusive robot companion. So little extras there. I don't like it doesn't sound like it's a package worth $8. Like or even 5 independently. But yeah, so overall, 20 is decent. I'd say wait for a sale, honestly. Although, once again, with the publishers going, this game may end up into the void sooner rather than later. Right, so Petty, anything else you want to add since you've been playing the game in the background?
It's not really my thing, personally, but, like, to someone who this is their thing, they would probably enjoy it.
All right. Gallix, anything you want to add or ask?
Not really.
All right. So, yeah, that'll about do it for Dead and Antares here. So be sure to tune in after the break as Petty Fan will be reviewing Grind Survivors.